Well, hello and welcome to the channel. Today is going to be a little channel update explaining why there hasn't been much content uploaded to the channel over the past 5 to 6 months, and more importantly, now that normal service is about to be resumed, what will be coming up to the channel over the next few months. So if you're interested in any of that, stay tuned. But first, roll the credits. Okay, so welcome back everybody. Let's get the boring bit out of the way first. I know there are a lot of subscribers out there who's probably been wondering why I haven't been uploading to the channel and where I've been. So I'll keep this as brief as possible, get the personal stuff out of the way, and then we can get on to the more interesting stuff what's coming up to the channel. So for those of you who don't know, I work abroad. I have done for the past 12 years, and I came to the decision that I just had enough of working abroad. So I made a life-changing decision. I decided to go semi-retired. I handed my resignation in with a view to coming back to the UK, taking 12 months off, spending this summer touring around Norway and a few other places, and it all went pear-shaped. I handed my notice in, and with a week of being back in the UK, my landlord told me he needed the house back that we were renting. He needed it for his son, so he gave me 3 months notice of termination of my tenancy agreement. Now, obviously that couldn't come at a worse time, because anybody out there who's tried to get a mortgage or tried to get a tenancy agreement, rent a house, the first thing they ask you is, where do you work, how long you've worked there, and how much do you own? And when the answer is, oh, I'm currently unemployed, it's not very helpful to the cause. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with the details. Got it all sorted out, managed to secure a new property. It was very difficult because I live out in the countryside in a very rural area, and there is just nothing on the market. Everything goes by word of mouth, you know, seeing as things, even before things are advertised on the internet or in estate agents, you can bet your bottom dollar that the deal's already been done. But my wife works in the community as a community nurse, and it's a very strong knit community around here, and thankfully they looked after us, and we managed to secure a house which meets our needs. So yeah, everything is sorted. So that is why I have not been uploading to the channel. The last 3 or 4 months have just been absolutely manic. We only moved 6 miles down the road to the nearest village, so I decided to do the move myself, which was a big mistake. I think I need a knee replacement after all the times I've gone up and downstairs carrying boxes and wardrobes and God knows what. But it took an eternity to move house and to set the new house up, and well, we're just about there now. So I will now be working from home in the future, so all is good. I should have lots of time for getting out there and doing lots of filming, so normal service will be resumed to the channel. I'm hoping to get a video up once every 2 weeks. So that is the boring part out of the way. So let's talk about what is coming up to the channel in the future. So, you know what I'm like, those of you regular subscribers, I've got a head like a sieve. I will try to remember it all, what I've got planned. No doubt I will miss something out and have to just let you know at a later date. But first of all, let's start with the big one. So in the next few days I am hoping to get out on tour for a couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing the whiskey tour, the whiskey trail. I've got a tourist map with all the distilleries on in Scotland, and I'm going to travel around all the locations and see what the countryside has to offer on the way. So that will be coming to the channel. I've already filmed and edited, ready to go on the channel, a review of the Can-Am Ryker. I recently went on holiday over to Lanzarote, so I've got a review of that / a day's touring around Lanzarote on the Ryker. So it's a bit of a mix match, it's a bit of a review and it's a bit of a touring video as well, so that will be coming up to the channel. I have recently replaced my rear sprocket and front sprocket and put on a new chain, so I've got a video of that which I'll be uploading, so if you're interested in how to do that and whether it's a difficult job or not, that will also be coming up to the channel. Recently, well not so recently, a couple of months back now, I went over to the ABR festival. I was planning to do a lot of videoing and do a big review of that and upload it on the channel. However, I enjoyed myself a little bit too much on the first night. I had a mega hangover for the rest of the weekend, so you know, you think at my age I'd know better, but yeah, so there's no footage of that. But while I was there, I did come across some guys who had a brilliant motorbike tent. It's called the Lone Rider motorcycle tent. So I went out and I bought myself one of those. I haven't even taken it out of the bag yet. I've had it, nearly 3 months now. So I'm going to be doing a review on that, so if you're interested in a really good motorcycle tent, then that's one for you. Okay, so what else is coming up to the channel? Let me try and get the cogs working in my decrepit brain. I'm going to be taking a ride out to St Abbs. Last year, one of the subscribers asked me to take a ride out to St Abbs for him and film it, and I just never got around to doing it. It kept getting put back with all the COVID and everything, and I sort of forgot about it, and I was just thinking about it. So I do apologise to whoever asked me to do that. I am really sorry that I never got around to do it. I am definitely going to be getting that done for you. I'm also going to be taking a ride out to Smailham Tower, which is sort of a local historical site. I did do it about 4 or 5 months ago, however the weather was terrible, and when I'd edited the footage and looked at it, it just wasn't worth uploading. It wasn't up to scratch, so I will be doing that again. Yes, so for the eagle-eyed regulars, you may notice I have a different chin mount for my GoPro Hero 8. Totally different camera angle, so it's the first time I've used it. I only put it on yesterday, so it'll be a good test to see what type of footage I get with it. It's from a company who make specialist customised mounts for helmet mounts for the GoPro, so I will be doing a little review on that, what I think of the quality and the fit and ease of application or installation, whatever you want to call it. I have also gone out and bought the DJI wireless mic. It was a very expensive thing to buy, and I was in 2 minds whether to get it, but I've had it because I'm planning to see if there's a way of using it so that you can mount it inside that helmet and just use it as a wireless recording device. So I don't have to have a mic actually attached to the GoPro, because the biggest problems I have when I'm out filming things is the sound. You know, I can lose half a day's footage just through poor sound quality when I don't know what it is, whether the connection's loose on the mic going into the GoPro, or I don't know what causes it, but I'm looking for a better way, a better setup, so I don't have to have a mic cable attached to the GoPro. So that should be interesting. Anybody who's into the vlogging, I'm sure you'll be interested in finding a better setup for your GoPro. And last but not least, I am still on the market for a new bike. I've had to lower my expectations because obviously, as I mentioned before, my job situation at the moment, I do have a new job to start at the end of this month. As I've said, working in the UK from home, but it will only be a fraction of the salary of what I am used to working overseas. But instead of buying two bikes, I was thinking of buying, you know, maybe a Can-Am and a two-wheel bike for myself. I'm just looking at a two-wheel bike for myself. Bit of a spoiler, I've narrowed it down to what I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be looking at the new Honda Africa Twin, so I'll be doing a test ride on one of those, and that will be coming up to the channel. I'm looking at the new Triumph 1200. Again, I'm going to be doing a test ride, and that will be coming up to the channel. And I'm also looking at the Honda NT 1100. Having sat on all three of them, I really like the Honda NT 1100. I think it's an absolutely fabulous bike, comfort wise, and for value for money, what you get with it, it's a licking the favourite at the moment. However, I also like the Africa Twin, and I also like the Tiger. Having sat on both of them back to back, there's not a lot in it really between the Tiger and the Africa Twin. However, when they're out on the road and you're actually riding them, that will be the deciding factor. So I will be reviewing those three bikes, sort of a short first impressions ride on those bikes. So that is also coming up to the channel, folks. Just look at that countryside, beautiful. Yeah, so I've been really, well, I was going to say I've been downhearted, but to be honest, I haven't had time to be downhearted. Over the past 4 or 5 months, I've most probably got out on the bike 2 or 3 times. One, I had to go down to Stoke for a family function. I was pretty bored, the motorway nearly all the way, so I didn't film that, and the weather wasn't too good. But all this lovely weather we've had, this heat wave, when, you know, weather warnings about the weather being so good that, you know, you're going to die of dehydration and all that, and I just haven't had time to get out on the bike because I've been moving house. And setting my new house up, setting my garage up, and it's just been non-stop. And with having 3 months notice to move, we didn't secure a new house until literally about 4 weeks before we had to move out. So it was just a mad rush. I was up against the clock. I was working from like 9 o'clock in the morning till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, just trying to get the old house ready for handover, move all the stuff. As I said, I did it all myself. I hired a lorry myself, drove it myself, did all the loading, packing, unpacking, everything myself. And just to give you an idea, the last time we moved, we had 2 removal trucks and we had 5 guys to move us, and I've done all that on my own this time. So yeah, very busy. And now I'm really downhearted. It's broke my heart that, you know, one of the best summers we've had in years, first summer in years, I've been home all the way through and I just haven't been able to ride my bike. So hopefully I'm going to get a good 10 days to 2 weeks touring in the next few days, riding around Scotland. It's now the beginning of September. Knowing my luck, the weather will break and it'll be absolutely atrocious, but I don't care. I just want to get out there and I want to get out on the bike. Little update on the Benelli TRK 502. I really did have a few problems with it. Mainly the brakes. I had a front brake caliper fail on me. Luckily it failed in a straight line when I was coming off the motorway, so no, I didn't crash or anything like that. But earlier in the day, it was when I was doing the Sky Tour. Earlier that day I'd been, you know, riding very spiritedly around the Isles of Skye on those twisted mountain roads, and if it had gone there, I hate to think what would have happened. And it sort of tarnished my relationship with the bike because it was such a serious failure, and I was all for just getting rid of it. But being back home now, I've decided that I'm doing all the work on my bike myself. Another thing that I had go at the same time, I'd got a fork seal that had gone, and I had it replaced, and the guy who replaced it took ages and ages and ages, said he couldn't get a fork seal for it, and then he said, oh, I've got one, but it's an aftermarket one, and he put it in, and it lasted literally a week. And so I had the double whammy of losing my bike for nearly a month, getting it back, and then the same thing going wrong with it within a week. That can, with the side-by-side front brake caliper go, it put me on a bit of a downer with the bike, but having this break away from it, I put it in my garage, and I've done all the work myself. I've bought some specialist tools, I've got a bike lift. Because of being at home now, I've got the time to do these things. I've got a new bike there, a new fork seal for it. Anybody who's struggling to get a fork seal for the Benelli TRK, and I can guarantee you will, you just can't get for love and money. Top tip for you, the Benelli Leoncino 500 fork seals are exactly the same, and they fit perfectly. So I did that, I dropped the forks out, and I put the fork seal in, and it's been fine ever since. I'm going to do a separate video on the change sprocket set that I did, and the difficulties I had with getting the right parts, and dealers selling me the wrong parts and things. But to cut a long story short, what I'm trying to say is that, you know, I've been able to put it into perspective. I perhaps expect and demand a little too much of this bike. You know, I'm used to having Hondas and Suzukis, you know, premium brand bikes, and paying a lot of money for them. And I'm always comparing the bike to my Honda. I've got a couple of Hondas in the garage at the moment, and I forget that this bike, brand new at the time, was only about £5,000, and I paid nowhere near that because I bought it second hand. I think I paid just under £4,000 for this bike, with a view for it just lasting me 12 months until I went out and bought a Honda Africa Twin. It then turned out that the bike was so good, it's so comfortable, it's so nice to ride, it does everything so well, that I just couldn't justify going out and buying a brand new Honda Africa Twin. You know, they're nearly, what, 17, 18 grand when they first come out, the model I wanted. And I bought this for, you know, about £4,000, or just under £4,000. I just couldn't justify it because, yeah, obviously the Africa Twin is a far superior bike to this, but, you know, is it 10 grand superior? Will I get 10 grand more pleasure out of it? I don't think I would. So putting it into context, you know, I've done, I don't know, I reckon I've done about 7,000, 8,000 mile myself on this bike. The bike's got about 10,000 mile on the clock now, and I think I've put about 8,000 of them on it. There's been hardly anything go wrong with it. It's been such a good bike. Yeah, I had that fork seal, and yes, I had the bad brake caliper. But, you know, I put the brake caliper down to it just being a one-off. I got a replacement caliper, I replaced the whole of the caliper, and I had absolutely no problems with it at all. So, again, the fork seal, you know, some dirt could have got under there, some grit, could have happened on any bike. And, you know, I did the job myself, I did it properly, and everything has been absolutely great with the bike. Another review that I'm going to have coming up to the channel, as I've already mentioned, I have just moved house and the new garage I have has no power in it, which is a bit of a downer. It means that I can't plug my bikes in. When I leave my bikes, I like to leave them on one of these advanced trickle chargers, these intelligent trickle chargers. I know people say you shouldn't do it, it kills the battery, but I've been doing this for 8 to 9 years and I've had no problems with batteries on my bike, so I favour that method of always having them plugged in. So what I've done is I've gone out and I've bought some of these solar panels from Oxford, and basically you put the solar panel on the roof or on the wall outside your garage, you run the cable through to your bike, and during the daytime it charges your battery. So they're about £100 a piece, so I'm going to be trialling those and I will let you know how I go on with them. So that's another little thing coming up to the channel. And at the end of the day, with the cost of living and the electricity bills going up, free solar energy, not to be sniffed at if it works. Well, I have to say, it's really nice to be riding not wearing my textiles. It's so comfortable, just wearing, I say normal clothes, obviously they are motorcycle jacket and motorcycle jeans, but they are very comfortable compared to wearing textiles. The jacket I've got on is the Oxford hoodie, and I think I might do a little review of it because it's such a nice comfortable jacket, fully lined obviously with whatever they call it, Kevlar I believe they call it, but yeah, very comfy. And the jeans I've got on, I've got a pair of Bullet motorcycle jeans, again fully lined with the Kevlar lining. I've got motorcycle boots on, I can't remember what make they are, but they again got all the inserts in to protect your ankles and your toes, but just really comfortable casual clothing that you can benefit from, still having the great protection it offers. So yeah, I think that's another little review coming up. I'll review some non-textile casual motorcycling gear that I've got. Oh, just look at it out here folks, it's absolutely stunning. Also let me know what you think of the new camera angle if you're a regular to the channel. Do you think it's okay? I'm not quite sure what the footage is going to come out like, so let me know what you think of the new camera angle. Another thing I've noticed as well, look at the top of those trees over there. It's dead weird, it's like a UFO's crashed or something. That's how my haggled brain works. Anyway, what I was on about, oh yeah, one of the things I have noticed with not really doing much riding for the past 4 or 5 months, you use muscles that you don't normally use. Normally, you know, I can ride all day. I can ride 12, 13, 14 hours, and especially on the TRK because it's so comfortable, and I would be fine. I wouldn't be aching. But I noticed going down to Stoke, that was sort of a 5-hour journey down to Stoke, and by the time I got to Stoke I was aching in places that I never noticed before, and it was simply because, you know, I haven't been on the bike. So I think when you watch reviews, that's another thing to take into account, that, you know, especially the professional journalists, bike journalists who review, who spend hours and hours a week in the saddle. If they say a bike's uncomfortable, my God, it must be uncomfortable. I was watching a review on the Triumph Triple Super Sport, is it RS? I don't know what it is, but the latest sporty version of the Triumph Triple, and it's been slated. They reckon it is the most uncomfortablest bike that you're ever likely to ride. Oh, I missed me turning now, I was looking at that dog. Yeah, so again, rider skills as well, still a bit rusty. I feel rusty after not being out on the road for such a long time, so it will be good to get back out on tour and do some consecutive long days in the saddle. Just look at the countryside out here, folks. It is absolutely stunning. Just look at that. Wow. I'll tell you what, folks, I've had such a stressful last 3 or 4 months, and to be able to get out on the bike and ride through this countryside, oh, it is an absolute blessing. You know, I often go on about it, you know, it's always in the press and it's always at the forefront, you know, about people's mental health and well-being, and it was never like that when I was younger, and I'm sure some of the viewers are my age, you know, I'm sort of early to mid-50s. You know, as a bloke you were just told get on with it, and I must admit, up to a point, I think it's good advice, just get on with it. But, you know, in my line of work, you know, I know a lot of people who are very tough guys, and they've suffered with PTSD, and there has to be a time when you have to say to yourself, yeah, you know, I need to do something to sort myself out, whether that's talking to a friend, whether it's reaching out to medical providers, GPs, shrinks, whatever you want to call them, or whether it's just something that you can do on yourself to get yourself in a better mind state. And for me, motorbikes, that is it. You know, if I'm feeling stressed, if I'm down, it never ever fails to put me in a better mood. Even when I go out and the weather's absolutely atrocious, I'm just lucky that I found something that, you know, it just touches my soul when I come out on a bike. Especially, I'm so lucky to live where I do, to be able to just literally get, I mean, I don't, now where I live, I don't even have to go to the end of the lane. I just have to drive out at my front gates, and I'm smack banging, jaw-dropping, beautiful countryside, fantastic roads. But even if you live in a city, you know, it doesn't take long to get out of any city, to get past the outskirts and get out into some countryside. You know, if you're looking for a new hobby, a new pastime, I highly recommend you go out and spend the time. I know it's expensive to do, but you will not look back. You will not regret a second or a penny spent invested in getting your motorbike license and getting yourself a motorbike. It is just a fabulous, fabulous pastime. And you know, I was touching on about some of the lads that I've worked with in the past, you know, all really tough guys. And seen some of my past videos, I mentioned that one of the lads I worked out with in Afghanistan, he got taken by the Taliban, and it was looking really, really dire. We didn't expect to see him ever again. Absolutely fabulous news. He is now back home with his family, safe and sound, and I can't tell you, it was left to spirits, but absolutely amazing news. So welcome home, Grant. My thoughts were always with you for every second that you were stuck over there. Stay safe now, mate. Time to hang your boots up and take things easy like me. But no, seriously, great news, great news. Sometimes I ride through this countryside and I'm just speechless. I mean, this is what, about 40 minutes away from where I live, if that, and it's just absolutely amazing. I can go in any direction on a countryside like this. So lucky to live where I live. I mentioned I went back to Stoke-on-Trent recently, and it breaks my heart to see what's happened to that city. It's just, I think when you live there all the time, you don't really notice it that much because the changes happen so slowly. But when you've been away for, you know, over 10 years like I have, and you go back, you can really see the way that the city's declined. And I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot for cities all over the country, most probably, I'm guessing. It's just a really sorry, sad state of affairs. Shops closed, pubs boarded up, steel shutters over the windows, and, you know, drunks lying in the street, graffiti everywhere, rubbish in the streets. Absolutely terrible. It breaks my heart to see the city like that, but you know, what can you do? And then I come back to this, and like I say, it just makes me realise how lucky I am to live in this beautiful place. Okay, so this road here, well, we have a bit of wildlife in the road. There we go. Yeah, this road here in this area here is actually a military range. I don't know if you can see the red flag flying up there. There's certain places where you can't go when the red flags are flying, obviously, because there's live firing going on. So if you hear any large bangs or explosions in the background, that's what it will be. I pretty much doubt that we will, because it's late in the day now. They'll all be on their way home to barracks. Let's see what this says. Military firing range. Keep out when red flags or lights are displayed or barriers are closed. So we'll make a little U-turn here, I think, because I don't fancy getting IED'd in my own country. Spent 12 years in Iraq and Afghanistan and then get IED'd on my own bike at home. That wouldn't go down well, would it? But no, I think you would be fine carrying on along that road, because it's still a public highway. It's only if you come to a lane that's got a barrier across, or you're actually thinking of like going green laning off-road or something like that, then you would really be taking your life into your own hands if you did that. But as it stands, we need to be going back now because it's getting late in the day. It's coming up to 4:10 now. What a beautiful day it has been. Tell you, I am so there's one of the flags you can see really well. But yeah, I am so looking forward to going out and getting out on tour. Even if the weather's bad, I don't care. Just cannot wait to get away from it all. So everybody, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. There is a big back catalogue of all types of videos to do with motorcycling life, from bike reviews, kit reviews, to touring videos. Please feel free to go and have a look and peruse the backlog that's on there. So I've pretty much come to the end of the video now, so what I will say is thank you very much everybody who's been a loyal subscriber and kept the channel even though there's been a big gap. I am sorry, it couldn't be helped, but normal service has resumed, I can assure you, so thank you for your loyalty. All that's left to say is everybody stay safe, everybody ride safe out there if you're out on the bikes on this fantastic glorious summer that we're having. Be safe, take care. Bike Rider Reviews out.